Here's an update on NVIDIA here from my last analysis. A lot has happened since last time we looked at NVIDIA together here on my channel. As you can see, I think last time we talked about NVIDIA was sometime in late September, early October, something like that, somewhere in this vicinity. We talked about the fact that falling resistances that needs to be reclaimed for the NVIDIA trend to the new uptrend to be fully established. We talked about the fact that we were in lower highs in the NVIDIA. However, with the subtle cultivation of higher lows, we're sort of in this triangle pattern consolidating more so because we're not in a true downtrend. True downtrend will be lower highs and lower lows, right? Lower highs, lower lows. What we're missing when we're analyzing a couple of weeks ago, we were missing lower lows. Instead, what we had was higher lows. So what bulls needed to do was to break out above this falling resistance and reclaim this recent swing high here from August and September. And for the first time in 2-3 months, we do have a cultivation in the primary term. Perfect. That higher high here in the last couple weeks here. So what happened was we broke out right here, and it ran for about a week, and then obviously it's been riding that oscillator at the top of his band. I called it a levitation, right? And push it. However, it needs to reset. It cannot keep pushing like this. So finally we did see that reset right here. See that flush and getting some late comers out, late coming bulls, the late jumpers. Market want to make sure to shake them out. We did that. We came down. What happened was, so when we did see that pullback last week, this up gap here was not fully filled. You see that right here? It's still about 50% remaining. When the gap is not fully filled, it's going to favor the buyers. There's also up gap right here that wasn't filled that favored the buyers. There's up gap that wasn't fully filled on this day when it came down. That's going to favor the buyers. However, and also, we got my short-term moving average coming here. Once we lost the micro-term, short-term was right there, along with the up gap. And then NVIDIA managed to get back up and reclaim the micro-term. This was a couple days ago. We gapped up today. You see, we gapped up here. Some fluctuations on the first. And look at that high wave. Doji right here. That's some long upper wick and lower wicks there. That's probably like the longest doji we've ever seen. And then we move sideways here, and finally, and pretty much NVIDIA and TSM was pretty much lifting the entire market all throughout the day, but the pressure was too much for NVIDIA and TSM alone to lift the entire market all day. Finally, it couldn't hold any longer. So 5th hour, we broke below this. And then you can see on the 6th hour, pretty much a little bit of panic selling from these micro-term traders who's gone long earlier. They're just basically saying, you know what, I'm exiting. They're getting stopped out on the last hour. So this is what we're dealing with here. We're still above the micro term. There's a good news and the bad news. Good news is this gap from this morning is still about 40% open. Remember what we talked about? When the gap isn't fully filled, it's gonna favor the buyers. It's done that here. It's done that here. And it's done that right here. And right now today, right on the 17th, that up gap from this morning, we're still above the micro term, right? That it's been tracking with that micro term here. That up gap is still remaining open, has not been filled. So if this up gap remains open, it will favor the buyers. But let's say if the bears gap it down tomorrow morning on NVIDIA and the entire market, right? Huh? And especially getting below this microton, what is going to happen is if this thing opens about 135.50 or so right here, this thing is gonna turn into a island top. And this thing will flush back down to the short term moving average, and it's gonna try to attack this up gap at 129. And so if this thing turns into an island and this thing start flushing down, we're gonna see that oscillator curling back down, and that's gonna be bearish divergence right here. And very, very quickly you will see panic ensuing, because all the people who's gone long anywhere over here, they're all gonna start panic selling, especially if we start breaking below or gapping it down. And I can see 129 at that time.